the style of an encyclopedia.
Okay.
That really has many subjects as an introduction to how all of these things work. But I think really is after 7 years speaking with people all over the coffee industry, the things that I find that people do not understand correctly, the things that are, the things people talk about that are a distraction from what is really going on, what really needs to change. So try to straighten people out a little. I realized that my own experience is almost exclusively in South and Central America. So I don't know about the reality for a farmer in Kenya. So I don't try to explain it because I know I can't. But we really just trying to outline more of these structures, more of the structural things going on. We talk about like the governance of coffee economies that have a national exchange, for example, like some of the African countries. And I guess the reasoning behind that, what's good about it, what's not so good about it, sometimes in practice, or about, I don't know, like the in the past when there were efforts to control the supply of coffee, how that worked, what they were doing, why they were doing it, what was successful, why they don't do it anymore, things like this, without really getting into the specifics of, okay, in Cauca region of Colombia, people grow this way and that way, not really into that much granular level. Everything is more complex and everything is more nuanced than you would believe. I think in the specialty coffee consuming countries now, there's a belief that coffee farmers are poor. That's it. Coffee farmers are abused, manipulated, marginalized. They need to be saved. So we have a lot of this like white savior complex in the consuming market, that these poor people, I'm going to save them because I am a good person and I can feel good about myself because I don't know, I pay $1 more or something. So I think this is, I mean, it's better than not caring at all, but it's also not accurate. And this also we deal a lot with in the book to try to add more nuance to this discussion that coffee farmers are not all poor. They're not all innocent, lovely little people that need to be saved. There are good ones and bad ones, and everybody's good and bad at the same time. That they shouldn't be abused and manipulated, but they also don't need your old clothes. I think these kind of misconceptions, I think, can be very destructive and a distraction from finding what really could be done in a better way. So we spend a lot of time with the idea of coffee marketing and like why coffee roaster would want to market in this way, because it makes people feel sorry and maybe they want to buy something more from them. But this is very manipulative. And for example, we really dig into kind of the psychology and anthropology of ethics-based coffee marketing a lot. This isn't my area of expertise, but I did lots of research, and really the whole idea is I read probably 5,000 pages of academic literature and books and things, and I just put it together into 250 pages. So I try to keep my own voice out when possible, but I learn a lot from these 5,000 pages, but I know people that work in coffee don't have time to read all of it. So I just wanted to make a shorter version that everybody can read in a couple of weeks. Visualization of the coffee story, which is kind of like a kind of sarcastic, but really is about this idea that when you have to have it and it just becomes another piece of marketing, it kind of loses all of the meaning. And I noticed that selling coffee, that we work with one farmer who is a single mother, and we sell her coffee so fast, and it's not the best, but people love it. And then what you think, well, that incentive. So now there's another farmer who has not had misfortune, that he's not wealthy, but he's a man who has parents, who has a wife and some kids, and he was never a drug addict or a criminal, and never had a terrible catastrophe in his life. So his story does not sell coffee that easily compared to the other ones. That like, oh, this person was homeless and drug addict in the streets of Bogota, and then she got better and now has a farm. So when you're going to invent these stories, there's an incentive to make them as crazy, but essentially is penalizing people who, by no fault of their own, have not experienced symbolic value versus material value. That you ask someone how they buy their coffee, how they make decisions, and they say that, oh, it's material value, it's cup quality, it's the process, whatever. But then you see some, I don't know, Panama geisha, and what is the score? I don't know, 87 or something. But why is Panama geisha 87 points worth 10 times more than Colombia Caturra 87? Well, symbolic value. We need to recognize that symbolic value exists, and it's very important in people's decisions. Purse of a name brand. Why would people buy it? It doesn't make any sense if we think about material value. But when we understand and we recognize symbolic value, it makes perfect sense. But if we pretend that symbolic value does not exist because we're embarrassed by it, then there's no. The market is irrational. Everyone thinks that there are problems in coffee economy because of other stakeholders, not them. And then they talk to another one, they think, oh, it's them. So I think it's important it's easy to say like, oh no, the speculators, or the intermediaries, they're ruining everything and everything's bad because of them, we need to get rid of them. But the book explained, oh, look, this is what the speculators are necessary, because if there are no speculators, we have no way to hedge. Or yes, the intermediaries are necessary because if not, then there's no one to finance and take risk for the movement of physical coffee. That we can't just get rid of these guys. It's not the fault. There's not a black and white, good and bad. But there are good ways to do everything. They can't just take this whole sector of the supply chain and say, no, they're bad, it's their fault. There are good ones and there are bad ones, just like any stakeholder group. It may be very frustrating for readers, or maybe some will appreciate it. We'll see. It's much easier. The information comes at us and we have little rules in our heads that this goes there, this goes there. It's easy to judge, maybe not even in a bad way, but, oh, this is a farmer from Colombia, so I think I already know everything about them because I know what farmers in Colombia are like. But no, that's wrong, because everyone is different.